The Boys Season 5 is coming April 8th, and if you don't remember what happened last season or you don't watch Gen V, this is for you. Today, I'm going to be recapping The Boys Season 4 and Gen V Season 2, since they're direct stepping stones into The Boys Season 5. So grab a snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. The Boys Season 4 is where Homelander stops pretending, the politics are amped up, and the boys prepare for civil war. Episode 1. Vought is searching for new members of the Seven since there's only Homelander, the Deep, A-Train, and the fake Black Noir left. They discuss adding Sister Sage to the team, a woman with super intelligence. Homelander doesn't really care, he's just upset that everyone always agrees with everything he says, as if he hasn't garnished that reputation by murdering anyone who opposes him. When Homelander meets Sage, she immediately spots that he's aging, and he invites her into the Seven, claiming that he'll be open to her advice. They join together to force the Deep, A-Train, and Black Noir to kill 3 Homelander supporters, and later at Homelander's trial, he goes free for the murder he did in front of everyone last season. And there's a riot outside started by Sage. The 3 dead men are placed into the crowd, and it's believed that the Starlighters killed them, launching an anti-Starlight movement. Meanwhile, the boys try to kill Victoria Newman, the vice president-elect, but discover she's invulnerable. Plus, she has her souped-up daughter, Zoe, with razor-sharp eels that come out of her mouth. Episode 2. Butcher reveals that he's terminal to the boys, and MM, taking on the leadership role, now sees him as a liability. And Butcher also wants to save Ryan, Homelander's son, but MM refuses. Vought wants to pitch Ryan as Homeboy, but Sage says that he should have his own image. Homelander isn't sure about it because he's a narcissist, but he agrees. Ryan has a staged solo save, but he accidentally kills the stunt coach. He feels super bad about it, but Homelander doesn't understand why. We also meet Firecracker, a conspiracy theorist who's later invited into the Seven because of her support in Sage's plot. A-Train is upset about his new movie getting his story wrong, and he decides to provide evidence to clear the Starlighters in the riot murder, getting his own character development. Episode 3. Butcher makes a plan to kidnap Ryan and take him to a safe house. He contacts him through a video game and invites him to meet up. Ryan shows up and they have a heart-to-heart, so Butcher decides not to kidnap him. Instead, he wants to convince him to turn against Homelander, but Joe Kessler, Butcher's old war buddy, warns him that they either have to train Ryan to kill Homelander or stop him before he becomes Homelander. Huey's having his own side plot with his dad in a coma and his long-lost mother coming back into the picture, which doesn't seem as important as the impending civil war. Homelander has Sage take over Ashley's CEO duties, and Sage announces to them that there was a leak that cleared the Starlighters, so they start interrogating people. An employee admits to speaking to Starlight, and Homelander kills her without further discussion, assuming she's a leak, annoying Sage. Victoria announces her support for President-elect Robert Singer's new policy of banning soups from the government and the military, not helping with the Civil War threat. Homelander wants her to reveal herself as a soup and oppose the policy, but she doesn't wanna. And Homelander finds out that Ryan went to Butcher and has a mental breakdown. He wants to cut off all need for love and decides to return to the lab that created him. Episode 4. At the lab, Homelander reminisces on his childhood torture and kills everyone there except the boss, Barbara, who claims that Homelander could have escaped, but didn't because he sought out their approval. Sad. Huey's dad is dying, so he gets A-Train to steal some Compound V for them to be even, and he does. However, once he has it, he decides against injecting his dad. Hugh Sr. wakes up, and it turns out that Huey's mom injected him anyways. Firecracker announces to the world that Annie had an abortion, and Annie attacks her, ruining her reputation further and forcing President Singer to distance himself from her. In side plot, Sage is getting lobotomies to calm her brain down and hook up with the Deep. And Butcher ends up killing the superhero preacher Ezekiel with some power that he didn't know he had, but will be important later. Episode 5. Butcher tells the boys about the virus at Godolkin University that can kill soups, Gen V Season 1 storyline. However, Victoria has it, so they need to track her down. Butcher and MM visit Stan Edgar, Victoria's adoptive father, in jail and offer to get him out if he helps them get the virus from Victoria. He agrees and takes him to his old farm, where they discover a lab, a bunch of souped-up animals, and Zoe's father, Samir, who explains that a leak infected the water supply and made the animals go violent, and there's only 1 dose left of the virus. The team, apart from Butcher, insists on using the dose to infect a dead person and giving it to the animals so they get the virus and die. It works, but Samir goes missing. But it turns out that Butcher kidnapped him so he can create more of the virus to take down Homelander. Hugh Sr. starts to forget things and starts walking through walls. He accidentally kills a few people and attacks Huey's mom, Daphne, forgetting that they've made up. Huey intervenes and realizes he needs to kill his dad to protect others. Hugh Sr. agrees and Huey injects him with something so that he passes away. A-Train also admits to Ashley that he's the leak, making her an accomplice. She frames her ex, Cameron Coleman, the news anchor of Vought News, and he's killed by the Seven. And Homelander decides that the Seven will not just be celebrities, but gods. And he brings in Sam and Kate from Gen V, who promise to support him. Episode 6. A-Train tells the boys about a meet and greet at Tech Knight's house. They infiltrate with Huey disguised as Web Weaver. Tech Knight shows them into his secret tech cave, a BDSM dungeon where Huey is subjected to Tech Knight and Ashley's kinks. Tech Knight finds out it's really Huey, and the boys save him in time and get help from his former sidekick, Gladio, to access his bank account and donate his money to charities. This breaks him down, and he admits his deal with Homelander and Sage about turning prisons into internment camps. And he's strangled by his assistant, Elijah. And as Butcher pressures Samir to develop the virus, it turns out Joe is only a figment of his imagination with his deepening illness. Episode 7. Homelander tasks Firecracker with finding the real mole, and they confront Webweaver, who admits to lending his suit to Butcher, but denies leaking information. Homelander kills him anyway. But A-Train is exposed as the leak when he's caught with the boys. Sage reveals that she knew, and it's all a part of her plan, but Homelander fires her in anger. Butcher returns to the boys, revealing he has Samir, but a virus strong enough to kill Homelander would cause a global pandemic and kill all soups. Samir tries to escape by injecting Kimiko with the virus, but Frenchie cuts off her leg before it spreads. Very lucky she has regenerative abilities. The boys discover plans to assassinate Robert Singer, but they're attacked by a shapeshifter who later takes on Annie's form and seduces Huey. Ew. Episode 8. MM and Frenchie are working on extracting the virus from Kimiko's severed leg, and Kimiko admits feelings for Frenchie, and they kiss. Yay. In Butcher's head, Joe offers him the ability to unlock the power that killed Ezekiel if he agrees to commit soup genocide. Which, you can be a soup if you agree to kill all soups, feels counterintuitive, but Butcher's going down his villain arc. Turns out the shapeshifter is the assassin targeting Singer, and she's still with Huey as Annie while she has Annie tied up somewhere. The boys team up with the Secret Service to protect Singer from the shapeshifter, and Huey realizes her identity when she references a detail from their first encounter. The real Annie, having escaped, joins the battle and defeats the shapeshifter. Homelander finds a photo of Butcher and Becca in Ryan's bag and destroys the apartment, scaring Ryan away. Ryan goes to Butcher, who, with Grace Mallory's help, tries to convince Ryan to stay hidden. He learns the truth about his father's actions and that he's the only one who can kill Homelander. Upset, he rejects them and accidentally kills Mallory, making Butcher determine that soups can't be saved. On live television, Homelander laser visions Victoria, forcing her to reveal to the world that she's a soup. Huey brings Victoria to the group where she wants safety, but Butcher arrives and kills her with his new Vine powers. Butcher takes the now completed virus and goes off to follow his plan of using the virus to kill all soups. Homelander instructs Ashley to make a list of all potential Vought dissidents, and he tells the Seven to eliminate them all, including Ashley. Ashley overhears this and injects herself with Compound V and undergoes a monstrous transformation. Homelander is upset that the assassination failed, but Sage arrives saying that the plan worked, and she has proof of the boys' involvement in Victoria's murder and footage of Singer declaring that he ordered it, so he's been arrested. She tells him that Phase 2 is about to begin. Stephen Calhoun assumes the presidency and appoints Homelander to manage a group of superheroes who will maintain order across the country, which I'm sure can't go wrong. The boys attempt to leave New York, but Huey, MM, Frenchie, and Kimiko are all caught by Vought, with only Annie getting away. And Butcher, who drives off with the virus, but he isn't technically one of the boys anymore. The season ends with the reveal that Soldier Boy is alive and kept in a cryo chamber. Now for Gen V Season 2, which introduces a new villain but still ties to the whole soup supremacy storyline from the boys, and will now directly tie in with the boys in Season 5. Episode 1. The new dean at Godolkin University is Cypher. He talks about the sacrifices of heroes like Ezekiel, Tech Knight, Queen Maeve, and Victoria Newman, and announces that Starlight remains at large. Having spent a few months in the Elmira Adult Rehabilitation Center after being blamed for Sam and Kate's riot at the end of Season 1, along with Marie and Andre, Emma and Jordan are returned to God U by Kate, who gets them reinstated and forgiven. But she learns from them that Andre died trying to escape, upsetting her. She also reveals that Marie escaped Elmira and is missing. At orientation, Cypher tells the students that humans can't be trusted and talks bad about Starlight. Emma and Jordan don't trust him. Kate confronts Cypher about Andre's death, but he threatens her and orders her to find Marie. On the run, Marie is looking for her sister, Annabeth, and defending Starlighters. She's found by Dognaught the bounty hunter, but saved by Starlight, who wants her to go back to school and look into Project Odessa. Emma confronts Sam about his past actions and informs him of Andre's death. He panics, asking Kate if they're to blame. She once again mind controls him to calm down, without his consent. Emma and Jordan track Marie down and Kate follows. She reads Marie's mind about meeting with Starlight and tries to force her to tell the school, but Jordan uses their power to throw Kate into the wall and she bleeds out. Unable to save her without touching her, and not trusting her after all the mind control business, they leave her to die. Episode 2. Marie returns to school and meets Cypher, who tells her that Andre was dying because of overusing his power, like his dad, and informs her that Kate has survived. Uh-oh. Sam visits Kate in the hospital, and Kate possesses a nurse, implicates Emma, and kills all the nurses. Unintentionally, I assume. Marie and Jordan are put in a hero seminar by Cypher, where Marie is targeted by their trainer, Vicor, in order to draw out more of her power. Andre's dad, Polarity, talks to Emma about Andre's death, and she tells him about Project Odessa, to which they agree to investigate together in the archive library. Emma finds a file connected to Marie, and her excitement causes her to grow into a giant, revealing more power upgrades for her. Sam confronts Emma about being involved with Kate's injury, but she lets him know that Kate is the bad guy responsible for Andre and his brother's death, and he's being brainwashed by her. That night, students celebrate the news that the humans who attacked Kate were caught and killed, and it was the Starlighters that Marie saved earlier. And Emma tells Marie that she is Project Odessa, as the only surviving infant. Episode 3. Kate arrives back at school, but her powers aren't working anymore. Sam starts to become erotic again, without Kate's influence. Marie goes off to visit Pam, her parents' friend. She still blames Marie for her parents' death, but reveals that Marie was conceived via IVF at a fertility clinic, and she sees Cypher in a photo with her as a baby. She also finds out that Pam adopted Annabeth, but she doesn't want to see Marie. Marie defends herself, saying that she was drugged by her parents as a baby, and they made her feel like a monster for something that wasn't her fault. Which is true. Emma joins a group of Starlight activists, including Harper, who's Justine's sidekick in Season 1, her roommate Allie, and Allie's brother Greg. And Jordan announces to the school that Vought murdered Andre and confesses to attacking Kate. Episode 4. Firecracker reports that Jordan lied about attacking Kate for attention, and Kate supports this, damaging Jordan's public standing. Cypher forces Marie and Jordan to fight in a ring in public, where Marie will win because everyone wants to see Jordan get beat up. He threatens to send Emma back to Elmira if they don't. So they do. Marie, Jordan, and Emma recruit Kate to team up against Cypher, to which she surprisingly agrees because she doesn't like him either. Jordan and Kate break into Cypher's house and find a burned man inside a hyperbaric chamber. Marie continues her private training with Cypher and discovers that he has no compound V in his blood, concluding that he's human. Her new plan is to have Kate record Cypher confessing that he's human. Kate confronts him as Marie and Jordan enter the fighting ring. Cypher mocks Kate for thinking he's human and shows her his real power by taking control of Jordan and forcing them to fight Marie. Marie levels up her powers by subduing Jordan, pleasing Cypher. Episode 5. Sister Sage shows up at Cypher's house while he takes care of the burned man, revealing that they're working together and they are romantically involved also. Kate is sent to Elmira by Cypher, and Marie convinces the others that they have to break her out. The plan immediately fails, and they are also imprisoned at Elmira. Sage and Cypher watch, revealing that this was their plan all along. Cypher shows Marie that he also has Annabeth locked up there in an attempt to force her to continue training with him. Kate uses one of her brain staples to escape and frees the others, and while escaping, Jordan realizes that there's no guards, and when they find Annabeth, she's dead. However, Marie uses her powers to bring her back to life, and everything goes according to Cypher and Sage's plan. Meanwhile, subplot, Sam returns home. His parents thought he died after being taken by Vought, and when he was on the news, Vought wouldn't let them see him. He later has a heart-to-heart with his mom as she confesses she gave him Compound V as a child, hoping it would stop him from having the same delusions as her brother had. And Sam realizes his issues are inherited and not the Compound V. Episode 6. Sam breaks down the walls and saves the others at Elmira, and they all hide out in an abandoned library. Emma gets in contact with Harper, but when Harper calls Polarity for help, Cypher is puppeting him to find out Marie's location. Marie finds out that Annabeth has the power to sense the future, however, she still blames Marie for ruining her life. Victor shows up at the library and a fight ensues, however, Zoe and Stan show up and Zoe destroys Victor's head. Never underestimate your opponent. And they bring the group back to their underground bunker. Emma and Sam reconcile with him apologizing and wanting to try again since he's on new medication, but she's apprehensive about it. I don't know at what point between talking to his mom and breaking them out of prison he had time to get assessed and put on medication, but sure. Stan tells Marie, Jordan, and Kate that Godolkin created Project Odessa as a program to engineer god-tier soups, and he failed, but Cypher succeeded twice, once with Marie and once with Homelander. They talk about how his goal isn't to control soups, but to build a world ruled by the strongest soups, wiping out the weak. Okay. Kate reveals that Cypher has a burned man imprisoned who they believe is Godolkin. Stan realizes that he may hold the key to controlling or neutralizing soups. Marie sneaks out of the bunker, followed by Kate, who wants to help her go against Cypher in return for Marie helping her. And Cypher tells Polarity about his plan to cull 75% of the soups at the university to ensure that only the strong survive. And Polarity launches Cypher out the window. Episode 7. Annabeth has a vision of Marie lying dead in a pool of blood, and everyone realizes that Marie and Kate are missing. Marie and Kate arrive at Cypher's house, where Kate is still begging her to heal her, but Marie doesn't trust her. Cypher and the Burn Man are gone, but Polarity is there, and Marie heals him of his neurological damage. Cypher hides with Godolkin at the school and freaks out that Marie is missing, but changes his tune when he sees her entering his house on his cameras. Jordan and Annabeth find Marie and tell her about the vision of her dying, but she's not really worried about it. Sam, Emma, and Greg show up too, and Marie lifts them all up into the air, telling Kate that she'll heal her if she forces them all to go away. But Kate refuses, turning over a new leaf. Leave relief. Polarity stops her since they have to focus on Cypher. The boys go distract Cypher while Marie goes after Godolkin. She heals him, and then Cypher flips a switch, suddenly begging Polarity not to kill him. Turns out, Cypher is really Doug, a puppet who was being controlled by Godolkin. Godolkin walks outside and begins his soup purge. Episode 8. In a flashback, Godolkin, trapped in his lab by flames, injects himself with a variant of Compound V, granting him enhanced strength and perpetual youth. The same later used on Soldier Boy and Stormfront. In the present, Doug is dying from his injuries, but Marie is too weak to heal him. On their way to the doctor, Polarity and Doug are attacked by Black Noir 2, and Doug is killed. And Polarity is kidnapped. The girls have a bonding session, and Marie heals Kate. Godolkin and Sage talk about how their plan succeeded, but Godolkin isn't done, opposing Sage's advice. He summons every student to the training room. Marie and the others try to warn everybody, but many still show up, tempted by a chance to prove themselves. Godolkin uses his power to force everyone to fight to the death. Sage reminds him of their mission to establish soup supremacy and topple Vought, but Godolkin's new goal is to control Marie and gain access to Homelander himself. Realizing that he's crazy, Sage then frees Polarity from captivity. Marie, Jordan, Emma, Sam, Greg, Harper, and Allie fight the students being controlled by Godolkin, but he ends up with control over Marie, forcing her to attack her friends. Polarity enters just in time and frees Marie from his control, and she kills Godolkin. Polarity tells the group to leave campus while he stays behind to deal with the mess. Marie, Annabeth, Sam, Kate, Jordan, and Emma make their way towards Stan's safe house, but run into Starlight and A-Train, who invite them to join the Resistance. And that's the end of Gen V Season 2. Lastly, I'm just going to talk a bit about what's to come in The Boys Season 5 and my predictions. So the shows are likely going to have a complete crossover at this point, with our God U students now joining the Resistance, and they need to break the rest of the boys out from wherever Vought has them. Butcher is on his own mission to rid the world of soups, but I don't think he'll succeed. If it was just the boys' characters, I could see the virus being released, and Annie is really the only one fans would care about losing, but personally I'd be upset to lose all the Gen V characters, so I don't think they'd do that, especially since the universe will likely continue. I hope. Soldier Boy's alive, and I have no clue how he'll enter the story, and to be honest, it doesn't feel like he should be added into the picture with only one season left, unless he's gonna fit well into the takedown of Homelander. Sage wants to instill soup supremacy, and even with Godolkin gone, she still has the Homelander plan running. Homelander is currently running America with a new soup military group, but he is definitely going to die at the end. And I think Butcher will go with him. We might have one more death amongst the boys group, but I hope they all just get to live happily ever after. Ryan can either be redeemed and turned into the Superman of the world, or become a mini Homelander. But I think he'll be redeemed, and potentially continue on in the Gen V universe if there's more seasons to come. And I hope there is. Season 5 will be about stopping Homelander, preventing civil war, and stopping a soup genocide. So I guess we'll see how it all goes down. Subscribe for more recaps, plus reactions, deep dives, and more. Like and comment your theories for The Boys' final season and what's to come in the universe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.